Hi, Steve. How do you feel about arriving at the 10 seed?
Well, we're happy to have a shot, It could have played out a number of different ways today and played out as it did, so we'll get ready for Sacramento.
I mean, I'm sure you've kind of, I know there's been some type of playoff scouting behind the scenes. What are your early thoughts on, the fact that it will be Kings in an elimination game in like 48 hours?
Well, it'll be a great atmosphere. We were there last year, obviously, and they'll have their crowd behind them, and it's nice to not get on a plane. So we'll take the bus up there tomorrow, and have a day to prepare and be ready to go.
Big picture, just how would you contextualize just the arc of the season arriving to this point?
Well, I'm really happy with the way it unfolded over the last couple of months. We were a little bit in disarray for a while early in the season, trying to find ourselves. And a lot of guys really stepped up, not only on the court, but off the court, in the locker room. We have a really good connection on this team, good chemistry, guys pulling for each other, putting in the work. So I've got a good feeling about what's ahead. I think we still have a chance to do something special. Now, obviously, it's NCAA tournament. We got to get out of the first weekend here and win the first two, and get to the first round. But we have a shot, so we're excited about that.
Back to the Kings matchup. I mean, you guys are very familiar with that team, but what defensive challenges do they present? Especially defense has been so important.
Well, the Fox Sabonis pick and roll game is lethal, and they've got great shooting around those guys. And Sabonis is kind of the fulcrum of a lot of their offense, and we know them well. They know us well, and they're great coached team. Mike and his staff do a fantastic job, and they've been really good for the last 2 years for a reason. I mean, they're talented, and they've got a good formula, and they're a tough team.
Coach, how important was it for Klay to have a great game like he did today, riding into the playing game for his state of mind?
Klay's been great now for a while, but I really liked him, playing 19, 20 minutes, getting a rhythm. I think it bodes well for him going into that game Tuesday to not have to play too many minutes, but to get a nice flow tonight and knock some shots down.
Steve, you talked about the atmosphere in Sacramento, and obviously to get to that first series now you got to win twice on the road, and you were so much better on the road this year, clearly, and you've talked about it, but I'm curious if now that the season's over, if you can sort of capture sort of what made you guys better on the road, and how much does that matter now going on the road in the postseason?
I mean, it's actually more surprising that we weren't a good home team than that we were a good road team. I expected to be a good road team. We've got veterans, champions, guys like him right there. Oh, they need me. Sorry. We'll see you later.
You were in the middle of a good answer on the road, and just how much your success on the road matters and can translate to the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, we should be a good road team. We've got a lot of guys who have won championships, and veteran players like Chris who are unfazed by the road, and so yeah, we're very confident heading out for these next couple of games, hopefully.
Steve, just curious, does Chris boss you around like that all the time?
Yes, they all do, all of them. Yeah, it's NBA coaching 2024. You just do what they say.
A follow-up, what was the memory that was made down there?
It's just a beautiful team photo with all 75 front office coaches, staff. Yeah, we got a lot of people.
Very, very cool. I'm just curious on obviously the play, and there was a lot of, for the fans, the scores are all kind of lining up. What do you think of just the drama that was created on the last day of the regular season by the NBA and the matchups, and how much you enjoy it?
I mean, the play-in I think is great. I really enjoy the format, and the parity. Obviously, you can't legislate that. It's just there's a lot of really good teams in the league, a lot of teams that are going for it. It was pretty interesting final few weeks of the season, way more interesting than normal.
What did you think of Kuminga's game? It definitely seemed like he was not looking to shoot and career high in assists, but I think it was 0 points. That in the flow, was that something you were encouraging him to do, or just he
No,
just? Yeah.
no. He came in this morning and tested his back out and said he was good to go. So we put him in the starting lineup, and he just he hasn't played a lot lately. He missed a bunch of games, came back for a couple. So maybe he's not quite in rhythm, but he's. I like the way he moved the ball, and as you mentioned, the 7 assists, and so nothing out of the ordinary to me. Thanks.
Pods, obviously you're a rookie. You guys are headed into the play-in series, headed to Sacramento.
Yeah.
Do you think that being a rookie at all, do you think that you're settled in, being that you've played them so many times this season, to what it is that you got to do to come out victorious and then go on to the second game, which is also on the road?
Yeah, I think me and Trayce, our roles are pretty defined at this point. We know what's being asked of us, what we're supposed to do when we're out there. No matter, the lineup, who's where, who's with us. So I think for me and him, it kind of gives us a comforting, knowing what our role is, knowing what kind of minutes we're going to get, all those type of things. And it's magnified more because it's a win-or-go-home game. But at the end of the day, it's basketball just like every other game.
Brandon, did you watch the Warriors-Kings first round last season? What were your thoughts, takeaways? Just what do you remember from watching that back and forth?
I feel like that's, for me, kind of what solidified Steph as one of the best players ever. Just watching his performance, specifically in Game 7, crazy stuff. But I know it gets loud in that building. I know the fans are going to be crazy on Tuesday night, and I think we're ready for it.
As another guard, what do you think about how De'Aaron plays? I mean, he's really a guy who finishes a lot at the rim and stuff. What makes it difficult to go up against a player like that, and just, I guess, the Kings overall as a matchup?
I think it's just you got to show so many bodies at him in transition. When he's making threes, it's kind of hard to guard. I think in our first game we played in October there, him and Steph kind of went back and forth shooting threes. And just watching that, it's kind of like, how do you stop a guy like that? Because he's so explosive to the rim and can shoot. Obviously, he hasn't shot that way throughout the course of the year. But just knowing you got to always put 2 bodies in front of him to stop him. If we want to win, that's something we got to do for 48 minutes.
Regular season finale, you've been through your first year in the league. How would you evaluate your first season?
I think it was great. Obviously, I didn't play in all 82 games, so still waiting to do that so I can get the title of rookie off my back. But I think I have so much more to offer, in the coming years, not only in these playoffs, but in the years to come. So to see that potential and the growth for myself, I think is something to look forward to, and not only me, but to Dub Nation in general.
Anything else? Is that it? Cool.
Let's go.
Andrew, if you could just sort of speak to your thoughts on facing the Kings. I mean, given the recent history, 7-game series, and played them a bunch early in the season in some memorable games. How do you view that matchup, and what it will take for you guys to beat them?
It's going to be one of those games where, we have to leave it all on the floor. Every game we've had of them has been a battle to the end, a physical, competitive game. So it's going to be definitely a hard-fought game that, we got to leave everything on the floor.
Andrew, both Steve and Draymond mentioned how it feels like the NCAA tournament for the upcoming play-in series. How does that impact the mentality of you preparing for these upcoming games?
Oh, for sure. We got to be ready because now it's, win or go home. No second chances. But I'm confident. The whole team is confident. I feel like we're in a great rhythm right now, offensively, defensively, and, just being out there and being connected together. So we're all looking forward to it.
What kind of message would you give to some of the younger guys on the team, J.K., Pods, Trayce, who haven't had, playoff experience yet?
I'll just tell them, you guys are ready. You guys proved what you can do all season long. You guys fought like hell all season long. So you guys are ready, and we expect them to, do the same thing they've been doing.
During the game today, was there ever a thought, or was there ever like any scoreboard watching with the Lakers game or the Kings game happening at the same time, or was it just kind of we'll do our thing and see what happens?
It's kind of like we do our thing and see what happens. It's the NBA, so anything can happen. But it played out how we thought it would.
Andrew, Draymond was talking about how you guys, this familiarity with the Kings, but as Kendra pointed out, Trayce has sort of emerged since you guys played the Kings last. How does he sort of change the equation against a team like that with his defensive presence?
Oh man, Trayce on the court, he's a game changer. Especially with him and Draymond back there, because he's shot blocking. He's making people adjust their shots, in the paint, making them think twice. He's a big key to our defense.